Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Allah yubarak fikum. Concerning this issue of studying Arabic, when I studied Arabic, uh, I was in Yemen, and I studied on my own, and I went through a series of book called Al-Nashi'in, لغير الناطقين, Al-Nashi'in, لغير الناطقين. That's the name of the book. I went from book 2 to book 5 on my own, just looking up words in a dictionary, but reading the stories and reading the exercises and reading the sentences. Um, what do you believe is the most efficient method in learning the Arabic language? There's certain things when somebody's learning Arabic, they have to consider. The first thing, they have to be able to read the Quran easily and fluently. It's not that they have to have tajweed, no, but they have to be able to read text that has Arabic letters, the Fatih's Kasr, Dam, and Sukun. You have to be able to read it easily. They shouldn't rush in trying to learn Arabic before they can read well. There's no rush. You have to get that out of the way. If you can't read well, then you're going to have trouble in Arabic. Another thing that the foreigners do that make a mistake, they want to learn Arabic and they don't want to put emphasis in memorizing Quran. And the more Quran that you read and memorize, and you can read it fluently and read it from memory, this is actually going to help your Arabic. It's going to be lighter on your tongue. The third matter that was very effective in learning Arabic is reading. Reading helps your comprehension. Writing also, this helps your speaking. Okay. So read something one time and you don't understand it, and then you have to read it again and read it a third time to fully understand it. You want to get to the point where you read it one time, you understand. So reading is going to build up your vocabulary, also your comprehension, how quick you understand. Writing helps your speaking. And this is why you have writing assignments, and I put writing assignments in the book. Because when you write, you have the ability to erase and think about it. But when you speak, your writing is always better than your speaking. Because when you write, you have an opportunity to erase and correct it. Every book, no matter what book you study, Arabic is not necessarily the book. It's that you have to work hard and you have to have certain goals. Your reading has to be fluent and smooth. It cannot be chopped up. So when there are sentences in the book that I made sentences. The book is full of sentences. You have to be able to read the sentences fluently. So each sentence, you should read it 3 times. Each sentence, you should read it 2 times looking, 1 time not looking. But all of it has to be fluent. It can't be any stuttering. I tell my students in my class, no stuttering is allowed in class. You have to go home and do your homework. Doing your homework doesn't mean just brush through it and that you understand. Most people, when they read study Arabic, or many people, I should say, they're just concerned with understanding, and they're fooled by understanding. But there's more to learning Arabic than just understanding. You have to be able to read it well and speak it and read it from memory. So what helps a lot in Arabic is that if there's a story or that there's sentences that you read from the beginning to the end fluently, not fast, not quickly, no, but it has to be fluent. Um, so this is why in the book that I put together, it has 2 main sections. One section is called Jumal Mufida. The other section is called Iqra Wafam. This is a series of sentences. I designed it so the student can read each sentence, go from the beginning all the way down. And it's not just like 5 sentences. The least of them is 9. Some of them are 17, over 20 sentences. That you could go from the beginning to the end without a stutter. So when you go home and you practice, then you have to read it 3 times. Um, in class, the teachers, a major reason for the improvement of the student is the teacher. And many brothers, they don't teach in the best manner. Um, the students have to read every day in class. The teacher can't just sit there and explain what this word means and what that word means. Arabic is not just an issue of understanding word, okay? And I'm very against the student memorizing vocabulary by itself. I don't have any place in my book where there's a list of vocabulary words. A list of vocabulary words does not benefit a lot, but it has to be in a practical, beneficial sentence. If it's not in a sentence, leave it alone. Because one word has so many different usages and practicalities. You have in the past tense, you could say I went, he went, she went. What's the benefit of just memorizing that dhahaba means he went? Okay, what are you going to do with it? What about I went? What about they went? What about she went? Why would you memorize that one word? And then it has to be in a sentence. Use it. Use it. Then you have the future tense. Then you have the command verb. And then you have the masdar. And then, So vocabulary, that's not the way. It has to be in a practical sentence. You have to learn new words in context. It has contextual meaning. You have to learn it in context, not by vocabulary word. So no matter what book that they go through, they should try to read from the beginning of that book. Don't skip around. The reading has to be smooth. And they have to have the teacher has to be involved with the students. They have to read together sometimes. He has to correct their reading. He cannot let them stutter. And they have to shoot fawqa nujum, above the stars. You have to strive for perfection. And they're not perfect. So when they fall short and they're shooting for the stars, they'll be like with the clouds. They'll be lower. They'll still be high. They'll still be on a high level. But in summary, when somebody's learning Arabic, they have to read a lot. They have to read their sentences every day. They have to read the story every day. I used to make my students memorize the story if it wasn't a lot. There's a lot of exercises that I have in my book that the student has to do from memory. Has to do from memory. And I made the book in a particular manner that it's simplified for the student to learn, and all that can be seen in the classes and that are there. This is one of the struggles that you face. First of all, Arabic is simple, but you have to just be consistent. Arabic cannot be studied 2 times a week or 1 time a week. Nobody learns Arabic like that. At least 5 days a week. That's what I advise. 5 days a week. 5 days a week. Don't, like I said, sit there and memorize vocabulary words. That's not how it's done. And don't jump in a book that's over your head. Don't go looking at tafsir. You have to read on your level. You have to read on your level. And there's so many Arabic books out there today. But whatever it is, you have to try to read it smoothly. In meaning, when I tell my students, don't bark at the print. Don't say, ذهب محمد إلى المسجد. No, it has to be smooth. It can't just be like you spitting words out like a machine. No, don't bark at the print. Read it contextually. Now, like you would read it in English. And then you keep getting used to that and keep used to it until it's light on your tongue and light on your mind. You're able to read it 2 times looking and 1 time or 2 times from memory without even looking at the sentence. And may Allah make it easy. Barakallahu fikum.